And we are live. Today is the 6th episode of the RBA podcast, Alliance After Dark. Honest to God, guys, I've never done anything this long. This level of focus is incredible. Really excited to be here with the guys I call the Stats Hoes. They are the guys that are bean counting, keeping track of everything going on with all of the different stats that we've got going on in this great league. I'm joined by Tampa, RBA. Tampa, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. It's a little warm today in Michigan, so it's kind of a nice day, actually.
I just woke up, so it's like, I don't even know how it feels outside.
We've also got Alaskan Armor. He's out in the Klondike fighting off grizzly bears. Alaskan Armor, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing excellent, man. Sending off the bears, doing good. It's also hot here. It's about 45, and I'm just cooking.
Ooh, that is a balmy 40. All right, very nice. Make sure you get the swimming trunks, I guess. And speaking of hot, I got Texas Band Kids. He also plays on my Cleveland Browns E-League team. Texas Band Kids, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? When you wake up 15 minutes ago, you're kind of tired, but you know what? I'm glad to be here, and, it's not Texas unless it's in the 90s. Or 90s.
Yeah, this is the most national broadcast of the RBA that I've ever had. I can't believe I got a guy from Alaska, Florida, and Texas on the same call. This is awesome. Although I tell you what, 40 degrees is pretty cold, even for a guy from Michigan like myself. I don't know how you're doing it, Armor. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is shorts and tank top weather right now.
That's great stuff. And then Tampa and Band Kids, you guys just stay up all night because we're almost in the same time zone. And by my clock, it's actually 1 o'clock at the time of this broadcast, and you guys just woke up?
Teenagers, what do you expect?
Oh,
yeah,
my
I was staying
God.
up till 5 a.m. every day.
Wow, the young life. If I did that now, I'd be dead, and my back would be killing me.
Amen.
To be young. So, guys, if you could jump in a little bit and just to kind of set what it is that the stats team does, because to be honest with you, I'm not even 100% sure what it is that you guys do. Can you guys give us some insight into what it is the stats team is capturing and how they work?
I guess I'll talk about it since I've been doing a little bit longer than the other two. Basically, we get all the exclamation point MVP submissions, and we put it into a spreadsheet, which pretty much lines out where to put everything. It lines up with everything we get from the screenshots, and we have some formulas. Most of them were made by Texas Stars, and I've created a couple of them, and it just sorts out everything from records to simply separating each of the different positions. And we also have some stuff that separates it by year as well. And we use all of this to get the All Alliance teams, helps us with everything that we do.
So now, do you guys work closely at all with the standings teams? Because I think there's a whole team that's dedicated to the standings itself. I mean, are you guys the ones that are responsible for collecting all of those submissions that people are doing and loading them up into that standings table, or is that a separate team?
That is a separate team. I should let them talk a little bit, but that's mostly a different team. The only thing we take from them is the points history, how many points a certain team has gotten throughout the years.
Yeah, I'm still pretty new to it, but I'd like to say, you guys got to be nice to us, or I might have to do some longest yard point shaving.
There you go. There we go. We get a little scandal going on. We're gonna have to start kicking people out of the Hall of Fame and stuff for juicing or for shaving points.
Thinking about Hall of Fame, that's going to be something coming soon.
Really?
Cool.
Can we get any insight on that, Tampa?
Well, I'm the one organizing it, so I have all the insight. Basically, we're going to have a board of Hall of Fame, which each of those will have 10 votes. And we also have, we're going to have honorary board of Hall of Fames, so that's people from the past couple years who have gotten a player or have gotten their own team into the Hall of Fame, and they each have one vote. So it'll be nice. We have about 15 players this year eligible, and a lot of teams eligible.
So we talked about this a little bit, Tampa, offline, and here was my, I mean, and I think that's cool that you guys have like a designated group of guys, but I was really hoping to see, and for the people listening, let me know if you agree or disagree, but I was hoping we could have every RBA member, let's say, who's been in the league for 2-3 seasons, have a vote where they could also participate in the voting of the Hall of Fame. But that's my 2 cents. I'm not trying to start any controversy or anything like that. But I'm sure it'll go well. I mean, nothing that you guys have done so far has fallen flat on its face. But that was sort of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah,
I do like that idea. That does sound nice, to be more involved like that, especially for people who have been in, like you said, for 3 seasons or so.
that's kind of where the honorary board of Hall of Fame comes in, because that way we don't have too many votes coming in, because there's already a whole bunch of submissions coming in through different things. I don't want to down Stats Team or any other team for this Hall of Fame stuff, and it's going to be hard as it is trying to sort all of the votes.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's true. And speaking of submissions, the playoff scores for the current RBA season just got released. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at that, but Rams again is in the finals.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this guy.
Ooh. I know. Doing really well.
He's incredible. He might win a third one here. He's playing against punters, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if punters has actually ever been in the finals. But it would be cool to see a new guy at least win it. No offense to Rams. And then in the Champions League, we got New York Mighty Pickles versus another Cleveland Brown E-League player, Booners. So Booners, sorry Pickles, but I got to go with Booners. He's my guy. He's on my team in the E-League. So I'm pulling for you, Booners. Good luck, buddy.
It should be getting pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what happens.
Now, have any of you guys actually won any of the leagues? I think Tampa, you've won Ultimate League, correct? At one point.
I have won the Ultimate League. That's how I got into the Champions League. Seems like every other season I get promoted. So I'm now in the Premier League. Hopefully, not this season, but next season. So hopefully I don't get demoted.
I tied in the Foundation League Championship with, I think it was Aloof Typhoon, and he beat me because of more points scored throughout the playoffs, I believe.
I have 2 championship rings in the Champions League.
2 in the Champions. So you've won it, gotten relegated, and then won it again. I see what your strategy is. That's a pretty good strategy. So guys,
I'm still salty at Typhoon.
I haven't actually seen Typhoon actually he changed his name. I take that back. He changed it to Aloof Tiger. I haven't seen him in a week or so. I hope he's all right. I don't know where he's been.
Yeah, I thought that was just somebody new doing the Aloof thing. Honestly, I had no idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about it, but yeah, unfortunately, there's only 2 Aloofs, which is probably 2 more than there should be. But
yeah. I hope he's all right. I hope everything's going okay. It's scary times, and when you don't hear from somebody, it definitely can make you worry.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good point, Alaskan. I like that. So, guys, on the previous couple podcasts, I've done a trivia game, and it seems like people have enjoyed it. So I said, what the hell? How about a third one? Are you guys up for a little trivia today?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You might need to bleep that out though.
So,
Supposed to be for kids, right?
older kids. I mean, you're teenagers, I guess, I suppose. But so anyway,
Damn, I'm old.
there you go. I know, I'm very old compared to the rest of you guys. I make references to the '90s that nobody gets, but that's a different discussion.
How old are you?
32, my man. 32.
Oh, okay. I'm 30, so I'm almost right there.
Yeah, you understand. You get it. I've got bad knees already. I don't know how the heck that happened, but again, different discussion. Nobody wants to hear about that right now.
Let's do the trivia.
All right, guys. So the way that this works, and you may have already known, but just for anyone that is listening, the way this works is I've got 20 clues that are all centered around one person. This person could be an athlete, a politician. It could be someone that's alive or dead. It could be a cartoon character. I haven't done that yet, but I'm debating doing something like that. Anyway, it's someone that you should know, hopefully. The way that it works is I'll give a clue. If you think you know the answer, DM me who you think it is. That'll lock you in. The goal is obviously to get the person correct, but the tiebreaker, or the other way that you win also, is by getting the answer right and getting it in the least amount of clues. So right now, Marching Ents holds the RBA Alliance After Dark podcast record. He got Keanu Reeves correctly guessed in 15 clues. And Seattle Sockeyes, actually, the last podcast, got Bruce Lee in about 16 or 17 clues. So usually that looks like that's about when people are clocking in and getting the right answer. So that's the record anyway.
Some savants.
Yeah, some savants, exactly. So, all right. I will pull up these questions and we will start. Clue number 1. I dropped out of high school at 16 to join the Army. I worked as an ambulance driver with the French Red Cross.
So not ringing a bell for me.
In 1980, a Soviet astronomer discovered a planet and named it after me. I nearly worked as a vacuum cleaner salesman with my brother before taking a job more related to the profession that I am known for, which is incredible once you find out who this person is, that they would have been a vacuum cleaner salesman. But anyway, I have personally received more Academy Award nominations than any person in history. In 2000, I was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Next clue. I smoked 3 packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day and
that does not sound good at all.
and died from lung cancer. Yeah, not good at all.
You're right, having asthma. Fun fact.
Just real quick on that, not to sound like an old guy too, but what's going on with all these e-cigs and stuff like that? I mean, is this vaping and all of that? I mean, do you guys do any of this stuff?
It's a young kid thing, man.
Definitely not.
Okay, good. All right, good. All right.
It's not for band kids and I, because band and smoking don't really go together.
No, that's true. Actually, that's absolutely fair. All right. I help produce war propaganda for the United States military.
Oh boy.
For some reason, I think I've used this next clue every time. I don't know why, but I have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
There's so many people on the Hollywood
I've never been there to see, but yeah, I assume there's probably quite a bit. This is actually an interesting one. My final words remain a mystery. On my deathbed, I wrote the name Kurt Russell on a piece of paper. Nobody knows what he was getting at by writing that name. There are rumors and theories that my body was cryogenically frozen. And again, if you think you know, say stop, DM me who you think it is, and then we'll continue. Next clue.
Oh, I didn't know how that works. I ended up PMing you. Sorry, I wasn't trying to give it away that I thought maybe I knew, but.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you are locked in, Alaskan Armor. So I'm going to continue with the clues, but
Okay.
you won't be able to guess after that. Did you just so I didn't see the DM come across? I apologize. Was that after this last clue I just gave?
Yeah, yes, sir. It was during the clue you were giving it. Aloof balloon, right? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, yep. I'm locked in then. I'm no longer allowed.
All right. So actually, that would be clue number 10 you guessed. So that would put you on the record, which is pretty incredible. So I'm going to continue, guys.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to continue. Clue number 11. I donated 25% of my estate to the private university Cal Arts.
It's not ringing any bells.
Okay. Clue number 12. For a few years, I had the exclusive contract for Technicolor filmmaking, which means that this person was the sole filmmaker allowed to use color in his movies. Clue number 13. I had a peculiar attention to detail. At one of my workplaces, I made sure that the trash cans were placed 25 feet away from the hot dog stands, since that was how long it took for me to eat a hot dog. True story.
That's an interesting fact.
It's a very interesting fact.
Dude, how do you live in Texas, man? It's 43 out here now, and I'm literally sweating.
43 and sweating. That's not normal, my man. It's about 80 right now in Michigan, and that's pretty hot for us. But 40 is like, that's just a nice walk in the park.
Yeah, I die down south every time. I went to the Caribbean last year, took my kids, and it was brutal. I mean, I barely survived.
I don't know how you're doing it. All right, next clue. Every year for Christmas, I would give shares of stock in my company to my housekeeper. By the time she died, the shares of stock were worth $9 million. Okay. Next clue. I was an avid fan of trains. In fact, there are many train themes in my workplaces. I've got you guys stumped. This is great. Okay.
I've sent you a DM.
All right, let's take a look here.
I'm totally stumped.
That's a hard one.
All right, so Band Kids clocked in at 16. Clue number 16. All right. So Tampa, these are for you now, buddy.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
I was a shrewd business person. My first project, which no one believed would sell, earned me more than $8 million, or $130 million in today's money.
Wow.
Clue number 18. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. Clue number 19. I was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian award that's given. And this is the last one. Oh, you got it, Tamp?
Yep.
All
I
right.
just spelled it wrong.
Tampa clocked in at 19. Okay, so here it is, guys. Tampa clocked in at clue number 19. He answered John D. Rockefeller, the business mogul himself. That is not correct, but it's a good guess. It's a very good guess.
Good guess. Yeah.
Band Kids clocked in at clue number 16 with Walt Disney. That is the correct answer. Great job, Band Kids.
Oh,
Very nice, buddy. And
Thank you.
and Alaskan Armor, you clocked in at clue number 10, which was ballsy, and you said Robert.
yes, it was.
You said Robert Fuller, which is not obviously correct, but why did you think Robert Fuller? Just out of curiosity.
Just because I know he dropped out of school real early, was in the military, and also pretty renowned Hollywood star. So those three things, I kind of thought it was a shoo-in, and I jumped the gun.
No, that was a great guess.
Premature.
No, it was a great guess. Band Kids, great job, buddy. I don't know how you got that. That probably was the hardest one I think I've done.
Oh, he Googled. He Googled for sure.
Oh, we're calling him out. All right. Great job, guys. So, if we could, I'd like to jump into now Band Kids and start with you. If you could let us know, what is the story behind your team name?
Well, I'm from Texas. I'm a band kid. This year or last year in November, I went to an event called Bands of America, the Grand Nationals. What would you say? Competition. My band placed third. We won best music, basically, as in we played the best music. And the band who ended up winning the whole thing was another Texas band. And there were 6 Texas bands out of 12 in the finals. So a lot of the time when we were there, we were like, yeah, Team Texas, let's go. Let's show these Indianapolis boys what we're about. And so a lot of Texas pride over there. And so I was thinking, this is a football game. And, I don't really want to do something football related. What's something I can do that's unique? So I'm thinking I'm a band kid. We got Texas pride. So I'm here representing all the band kids from Texas.
What
is Texas pride.
What instrument do you play, by the way? Just so I know.
I play bass clarinet.
How long have you been doing that for? I'm only asking, Band Kids,
7 years.
I'm only asking because I'm impressed. I don't know about Tampa or Alaskan Armor, but I have no musical ability whatsoever. So I'm always impressed by guys that can actually play guitar or any instrument for that matter. I mean, that's impressive stuff, Band Kids. And then Alaskan Armor, just some story behind yours. So obviously you're in Alaska, but what's the armor part? What's that mean?
Well, I was sitting there trying to think of a name, and realistically, thinking about, the first thing that comes to mind when people think about Alaska is, you're rugged, you're tough, you're outdoorsy, you're a hunter. Man. So
definitely,
I figured armor was pretty suitable, and I just rolled with that.
Now, how many grizzly bears have you fought off this last week?
Actually, one time we were up in Seward across the bay. I was going to school. I was about 19, and I'm 30 now, so it was a while ago. But I was babysitting, and we were out walking. So I start going down this brush trail, and all of a sudden I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old with me. And we're walking down this brush trail, and sure enough, I hear something in the bushes. I turn left and I look, and there's a grizzly bear standing right next to us.
No way.
Oh, man, I'd never been so scared before. So I pick up the kids, I turn around, and I just start running as fast as I could, because you don't have to be scared of the black bears, but the grizzly bears, usually you need to pee yourself or have a big fucking gun. Excuse my language, I apologize. But I just start running as fast as I could, and I remember as soon as I felt like I had any kind of distance, I dropped the kids, and I told them, run as fast as you can and don't look back. I turned around and to take one for the team, I thought I was a goner. And I turned around and I just yelled as loud as I could, and the bear was charging at me, and it just all of a sudden darted right off back into the woods. And it left me alone, and of course, as soon as it darted, we got out of there. I was parked only like 15 feet away. And we just got in the car and left after that. Man, I'd never been so scared.
Are you
My
kidding?
heart's pounding right now just
Yeah.
retelling the story.
That is an incredible story, man. Are you supposed to do that? Are you supposed to run? I thought the idea was you kind of play like you almost play dead, right? Is that? I mean, obviously
Well,
in that moment you're probably not thinking about any of that crap. But I mean, like, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
yeah, you don't generally you don't ever run because that's a bad thing to do. But I was basically cornered. We're in a brush trail. I got these two kids with me. I'm not gonna just stand there and let this thing sniff at us. And basically
Wow.
it was fight or flight, and I was not going to fight.
Whoa.
And but yeah, I think I turned around, yelled as loud as I could. Probably sounded pretty girly because I was scared, but
Yeah.
I think it did the trick. But yeah, man, but terrifying. But that's the only bad experience I've ever had, and I've been hunting my entire life.
That is an incredible story, man. Holy crap! And to have like you said, like kids with you, you may react a little bit differently if it's just you, but to have kids with
Yeah,
you, wow, man, that's
that
incredible.
was the thing. And I bet you anything, I ran like a 3.540 packing those kids.
Right. Wow, man, that
Some
is
Chad Johnson.
yeah, right, exactly. You had unlimited stamina at that point. You would have been a 5-star wide receiver in the RBA, right? Yeah.
Exactly. They might
Wow.
have even added a half star for me.
Holy crap, man. That is incredible.
Yeah. Good times.
Well,
I'm glad to be here.
yeah, glad to have you here. You've definitely earned the Alaskan Armor moniker. Good job, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Tampa. I mean, you're from Tampa, right? So I mean that kind of explains that one, right? Or unless there's more to that story.
Basically, I'm just from Tampa. That's basically how it goes. Nothing really interesting about it. I was supposed to be the Tampa Dragons, but no, there's already a Dragons in the league. So I had to drop the Dragons, and I just never had the thought about a new mascot. So I just kept Tampa, and people actually like it, so I'm gonna stick with it.
And just to give you a little shout out, buddy, I love those news centers that you do. Keep those things coming. I just watched the other day your interview with Red Comets, who is another Cleveland Brown E-League player. We're all over the place. That was great stuff. Tampa.
Absolutely great.
Yeah,
I like those newsletters as well.
Yeah, I at least try to keep them interesting. Just there's not much content, and editing those videos for highlights is not that easy, but it's something you guys like, so it's. I would love to get some help with with the highlights part, but everything else, from the setup to recording, most of that stuff's easy. Only when I record the session, I don't have to do any editing for it. So
Now, Tampa, is that something that you said you're in high school still? So is that something that you want to do as a career someday?
no, I want to be a forensic scientist.
Ooh,
Nice.
all right, forensic scientist. That's pretty sweet, man.
I want to
Savvy.
investigate plane crashes.
Oh,
Uh-oh. I smell conspiracy theories cooking.
yeah. Are you gonna find what was that one? There was like some several years ago it crashed in the Indian Ocean and they never found it, and so there's a big conspiracy.
Malaysian.
Yeah, the Malaysian flight. Yeah. So you talking like stuff like that?
Yeah. Also, what you pretty much see on air disasters. However, there's more than just that. Uh, the NTSB also covers um, train crashes as well. Just try to see who's at fault in different crashes. If it's mechanical or if it's human error. The Kanye West. Kanye? No, not Kanye. Who's the basketball player? Why am I even saying Kanye?
Kobe.
Kobe.
Yeah. Don't
That was
don't take Kanye now. Come on, man. 2020's been crazy enough. Let's not take Kanye too.
I'm
Yeah, we
sorry.
needed shenanigans.
Right there you go.
Yeah. But with Kobe's flight, it was CFIT, which means controlled flight into terrain. know we're not really talking about RBA stuff, but what controlled flight into terrain is basically when you're flying a plane or helicopter in this case, you tend to have control. And the way that they were flying under a special VFR, so all they had to do was stay below the clouds. However, staying below the clouds put them right into the trajectory into a hill or mountain. You don't really have hills in Florida, or hills or mountains in Florida. So it's like, I don't even know. Speed bumps are mountains. But you just fly straight into it. That is CFIT. And it's not fun at all.
So Tampa, if you could, and I don't want to be controversial, but can you tell me if jet fuel melts steel beams? Can you put that to rest?
Jet fuel burns at a third of the temperature of the sun's surface.
Whoa.
Wow.
Jeez, man. You already sound like a forensic guy. Like, you don't. You might already be.
Jet fuel melt steel beams. I don't know how sturdy those steel beams were, but they definitely can.
I just learned something new. Thank you.
There you go, man. Like I said, the Alliance After Dark podcast, it's all about education there. So there you go. You heard it here first.
Knowledge is power. It really is.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. So just to get back into the Retro Bowl universe, as we like to call it, Tampa, Band Kids, Alaskan Armor, do you guys have anything going on right now that you want to tell the community as far as the stats? Any upcoming projects or things that you guys got planned coming up?
For the most part, I just follow whatever Tampa says to do because he's the boss. He's like incredible. I don't know how he does everything he does. It's amazing. And I'm just kind of here to help him out a little with anything I can do. Unfortunately, it's been pretty busy with band leadership things. Trying to get info from all the freshmen, planning camps, and proper social distancing guidelines for that. But yeah, I just tend to follow Tampa's lead because he's the big guy around here.
I'm going to have to agree with everything you just said. Tampa is absolutely incredible, and I also do not know how he does it all. But on stats related, I did find something interesting. On my other file, I dropped a few dollars to do some experimenting, finding out that you can do the talent spotter twice for every player. And that's it. It maxes out, so don't waste your hard-earned coach credits on any more than the two. And then it seems like the experienced ones are infinite, as far as I can tell. So that's kind of what I've been shooting for. It says just a tad bit of information. I know it's unrelated to the stats, but I found it to be pretty useful.
Well, just Alaskan, if I can jump in there real quick. I am horrible at the game, so I don't even know what the heck you're talking about.
Okay, so when you get your coaches, they all have an ability.
Yeah.
And the talent spotter one, it increases the potential for your players. So I had a bunch of 4-star guys, and every single one of them, offense and defense, all went to 5-star on the first talent spotter that I got.
Really?
And then on the second one, it boosted them all again to being, just top-tier legendary Hall of Fame players. And yeah, it's an incredible little cheat there, but you got to spend the credits, so you got to save for a couple seasons to afford the defense and the offensive coach, because it's going to cost you probably about 25 each. So that's definitely some saving.
I had no idea that that's what that does. And that
it's really useful.
Yeah, and that you can stack it like that. So you said that it basically caps out at 2 though.
Yep, you can only use that little cheat twice. But like I said, I had a bunch of 4-star. I even had one 3-star that went to a 5-star from doing it twice. And that was incredible. So you can get just pretty much whoever off the draft as long as they're not garbage, and you can turn them into something special.
No way, man! This is gonna change my whole team This is great stuff. This podcast actually helps me more than it helps anyone else. So that's hilarious. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we've already talked about the biggest plan for the stats team, which is the Hall of Fame stuff. We always have the plans for taking the submissions from the scores and plugging them into the sheet, doing all that stuff. Our next project is completing the season 7 All Alliance teams for our for the live stream on Saturday, which is always going to be fun. And we just have some small things, just updating the public sheet for the new records, which is always a good thing. Most of the other stuff is just already done.
Tampa,
as we
I don't mean to interrupt you, Tampa, but you got my interest. What's this live stream thing you're talking about? I'm sure people want to know about that.
On Saturday at 3:30 p.m. we actually started a little bit early with the All Alliance teams pre-award ceremony, I should say. Concert, and then we have and I'm live and I go through all the awards, starting off with the All Foundation, All Ultimate, All Champions, and then All Premier, and then we go to the awards part, and we polish it all off with the two All Alliance teams, which is really fun to do. It's getting long for a PowerPoint stance. Last season, the All Alliance team presentation was over 110 slides.
Ooh, all right. I mean, it was a great. I really enjoyed it. I think that's something that you guys do a really great job on. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and there was some controversy around the last awards, which was fantastic. I like that kind of stuff, stirring the pot a little bit. So that was really a lot of fun, guys. All right, so if I may, I've got 10 questions for you. A little personal, maybe. If you've heard other podcasts, I've done it on a couple other shows, and I think it's gone, again, pretty well. So I'd like to do that again here. I guess the way that we'll do this is, because there's 3 of you, we'll start, just because I'm looking at the screen, we'll start with Tampa, and then Band Kids, and then Alaskan Armor. So,
4.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word. That's why are you asking me this? God. I'm just gonna go with God.
Man, that is a tough one. There's like a 5-way tie going on there. Shoot, I mean, when you think about your priorities, I guess I'd have to say the same thing, which would be God.
Man, that's hard. So many to choose from, you know. I like to think of myself as kind of like a vocabulary wizard of sorts.
I'm surprised yours.
I love throwing big words at my friends, you know, because I just like seeing the look on their face when they're stumped by things like ambiguous or tumultuous or things of that sort. But I guess if they're saying God, I'm gonna have to go with family.
I'm surprised your favorite word isn't run. Just from
or BFG, big friggin' gun.
Yeah, right. There you go. Exactly. All right, guys. Again, starting with Tampa. What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. The word hate.
There you go. Okay.
If you want reasons, it's just there's no reason for people to hate, to be honest. I
Amen.
strongly dislike, but hating someone is not that great because I've always been told to treat others the way you want to be treated. So
There you go, man. That's why they call it the golden rule, right?
All right, now, as a Patriots fan, I have to say that my least favorite word got to be Eli.
That's that's a great one. I like that. All right.
Oh, that was awesome. I like that a lot. Well, shoot, my favorite word, or I mean, least favorite word. Oh, that's hard. I'm gonna have to say Seahawks because living in Alaska, we have no NFL team, and since this is the Retro Bowl, I'll try to keep it related. But yeah, Seahawks, man. Every single person in this town, ever since they won that Super Bowl right after they had Sean Alexander, every single one of these people are bandwagoners, and they all stickered up their trucks, and they all bought number 12 jerseys, and they're all liars, and I hate them.
Wow, man. That's hilarious. Band kids, just real quick, are you still a Tom Brady fan after what he has just done and gone to Tampa?
I mean, of course. I mean, Tom Brady is a great inspiration for me. Like, his story coming up from being completely looked over as a sixth-round pick, his hard work, his motivation, his teamwork, what his teammates have to say about him. It's an inspiration for me to become an incredible leader. And as someone who's not really the most talented in the band, whether it comes to playing or whether it comes to marching, I want my legacy to be defined by my leadership and the values I leave behind to the young kids behind me. And Tom Brady is a big inspiration for me in that.
Hey, man.
He's also an amazing father and the best football quarterback of all time, hands down.
There's a lot of Tom Brady love going on in this podcast, which is all right. I'm a Lions fan, so I have no, I have no axe to grind here. But
I'm surprised you admitted that. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not willing. It's not by choice.
Tom Brady's cute, so
There you go. I'm willing to admit that. All right. Speaking of which, what turns you on?
turns me on. I'm just gonna say my girlfriend.
Tampa's trying to get
I
brownie
know
points.
what to say. I'm just looking for the right word. A perfect chord played at the end of a movement in a marching show.
Nice.
Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know that reference. I've never played Final Fantasy. I know I got to get on that.
Oh my goodness, we were friends.
I know. I never bought a PlayStation. I was always I did Xbox or Nintendo 64, and I've never played on a system that I could do Final Fantasy. I know I got to get on it.
Yes, sir. You do. If you can buy the original on your phone from the Play Store, and I think it's like $10, but it's 100% worth it. It's the full game.
I've never been much for like those type of RPG games. Like the deepest I'll get into like an RPG is like Elder Scrolls, like Skyrim or Oblivion when that came out and things like that. But I'll give it a shot, man. I'll have to try it out.
If there was any of them to play, it's 7. Because if you're not too into them, don't even bother playing any of the other ones. This is the one with the storyline, and I mean it's deep. It's really deep. I love it. I couldn't say enough good things about it.
But it's kind of like anime, right? Like I can't get into any of that. Kind of like no offense. I hope I'm not causing any waves here. But isn't it kind of like
no? It's just like it. It's just like any other video. So the Final Fantasy VII original. I mean, this came out back in the early '90s for PlayStation. I mean, it's real blocky and it's turn-based combat. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess you could call it anime. I don't know.
I'll try it out for you, Alaskan Armor. I mean, you impressed the heck out of me with that bear story. I'm still blown away by that. So For you, I'll play that Final Fantasy game. How about that?
There you go. Just give it an hour, and if you don't like it, at least we say you tried.
There you go. There you go. Okay, what turns you off?
Eli Manning.
Why are you hating on Eli Manning so much? I mean, he's the inferior of the two brothers. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, Peyton Manning's the one.
He didn't even make that helmet catch either.
Right, that was nuts. I can't believe that still to this day.
Blows my mind. I'm gonna have to say Seahawks, the team, and then Bears, the animals. Big turnoff now.
There you go.
So it's now back to me. I'm gonna have to say I'm a Red Sox fan. Say the Yankees.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah, you're not a Tampa Bay Rays fan. I mean, that's such a great organization.
It's a great organization, but my family's from New England, so.
Got it. Okay.
And if my parents would never let me root for the Yankees, so.
All right, guys. What sound or noise do you love?
I really love the sound of the first note of a marching band show.
Okay. All right.
My favorite noise would have to be the chaos that ensues in the band hall right before we have to go outside for rehearsal.
Ooh, yeah, I know that.
What do you guys mean by that? I'm not familiar.
I mean, people are just playing random stuff. Everyone's yelling. Someone's probably blasting music somewhere. Just lots of things going on at once, and it's just like kind of relaxing in a sense, even though it's a bit chaotic.
Yeah, I like it.
The sound that I love the most, since I live in a rainforest, is the rain patter on my roof. It puts me to sleep like a little baby getting rocked.
I'm still blown away that it rains more than snows. I mean, my simple picture of Alaska is like the Revenant, where there are people getting attacked by grizzly bears and everything is covered in snow and it's just freezing. But
it is like that if you go to Nome. I lived in Fairbanks for a couple of years, and there's nothing but moose and bear and -40. I mean, when I lived there, you could throw your coffee and it'd freeze before it hit the ground. So it is like that in places. But I live, if you're looking at the outline of Alaska, which is way bigger in Texas, by the way. Shots fired. No. But I live all the way at the bottom of the Panhandle, so pretty close to like Washington.
Gotcha.
Down that direction.
Okay. Yep. Definitely.
So it's more of a rainforest. So the further north you go, the more revenant it is.
All right, guys. What sound or noise do you hate?
Nails on a chalkboard, man.
I'd say the sound of a dropped instrument.
There you go. Pretty expensive too, I imagine.
Yeah.
Talking about a dropped instrument, one year when I was playing in a band, we had our middle school band night, and one of the middle school kids brought their brand new trumpet, and it fell through the stands.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That's why I never bring my
This
kids.
year at like a football game, it was kind of chaotic. The trombones were getting in trouble for annoying glisses. And like, what happens is every time at kickoff, the trombones will play a "wah," and then like a weird low note when the returner catches the ball, and it's pretty fun. But they were kind of gross with it the first time around, and so our director got pretty mad. Stuff happened at halftime. I don't know what. And at the end of the day, when we had our meeting in the band hall, he goes into his office and he pulls out a mellophone, which is let's just say it's like a trumpet but times 20. So he pulls out a mellophone and it's just completely flattened.
Oh, jeez.
That was really awkward. Apparently someone had fallen on it, and that was not a good night.
They fell on it and actually flattened it?
Yeah.
If that happens to somebody, that is such a red flag that you need to lose some weight. I mean, to actually fall on a metal piece like that and flatten it.
Cut
These
back
things
on
are
those
pretty
cookies.
fragile.
Yeah. All right, guys, this one is my personal favorite. Yes, it is kid friendly, but feel free to let it fly on this one. What is your favorite curse word?
The other word for poop.
Oh, okay.
You know, when I look at it, I'd have to say I view them all as equally. Of course, when I was in middle school, you know how that is. It was definitely a lot more, but over time, it's gone down. And at this point, where I'm a senior now, and you know, more mature, I don't really swear unless I'm angry or at all. Never really. But yeah, I guess I'd say I view them all equally.
Oh,
Don't really have a quick favorite.
you're making me feel bad now, band kids. I need to mature a little bit.
There are no bad words. There's only malicious intent.
There you go. There you go.
But well, I'm gonna have to, I'm Alaskan, so we cuss like fucking sailors, and my favorite cuss word would be bitch.
I always say a well placed shit is my favorite. But band kids, I don't know, man. You might be my new life coach. I think I need to kind of change a little bit. I gotta find better words.
Right.
All right, guys.
Yeah, because like around here, if you're not fighting bears, you're a bitch. And you can't be called that. Then you gotta go fight a bear.
Right. Bare chested and barehanded, right? Exactly. No.
That's right. The only thing I did is shave an S into my chest hair.
Well, exactly. You have to do that, right? All right, guys. What profession would you like to attempt?
I think I've already told you guys it. Forensic scientist.
Ooh, astronaut, baby.
Wait, was this attempt or want to go into?
It's you can take the question either way. I said attempt, but it's up to you.
I'll just go serious. I want to do something in business. Not quite sure yet. Probably accounting, marketing, something like that. But the end goal is to one day work for an NFL team.
Oh, that's pretty
Ooh.
sweet. There you go. All right.
Hey man, and you know what? Since I have owned my own business for a few years now, I can give you some advice, man. And you get really familiar with things like QuickBooks and all that kind of stuff, because the hardest part of business is keeping your damn paperwork and keeping track of it and staying on top of it and not getting screwed over by the system. Because if you don't have all the loopholes and tax write-offs, you will never stay in business, because Uncle Sam will take all your money.
Oh yeah, my dad owns a business himself, and I'm learning a QuickBooks course actually. Now that you bring it up, so I've got some help around me. It looks good. Future's looking up.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Here's what I think we should do, guys. Let's start a marketing company that does forensic space travel. How about that? So we can kind of combine all of our things together here.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
there's forensics.
Yeah, there you
Let's
go,
go play football on the moon.
There you go, exactly. The first moon team. There we go. Band kids, if you're interested in running a team, I highly suggest you try to get into the E League that we're doing now. As a GM, you can draft guys, set lineups. It's pretty fun.
Dang it! I wish I had the time, but actually, now that you bring it up, I did. So in band we have I'm a squad leader, and what that means is I have a squad of people under me. So last year we tried randomizing the squads when it came to distributing it amongst leaders, and that did not really work out. So what I suggested this year is that we have a draft, and after some debating and discussing, I managed to pass it through the other leaders, and now we're having a draft, and it's a seniority draft, so I first pick, and that's fun.
There you go, man. Nice stuff. All right, guys. So on the flip side, what profession would you not like to try?
Porn.
You wouldn't like to try that? I'm surprised. I mean, that's
Dude, it's cold around here.
That's great.
I'm on the flip side with Texas. I would never want to try business. It's not my forte at all.
I guess I'll go with sanitation engineer because I'm a tiny bit of a germaphobe. Not anything drastic, but I'm not going. Not doing it.
How are you holding up with everything going on? I mean, you got to be washing your hands probably every 20 minutes.
Well, I've been inside a lot. I'm not going outside unless we schedule some sort of band camp. As a leader, I got to go to that stuff. But other than that, I'm staying inside. I also have asthma, but my mom is a physician's assistant, so I have access to top quality masks. That's good.
Good, man. Stay safe, buddy. All right, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
For me, it would be, you made it. Congratulations.
I guess I just have to say, welcome or come in. There's a lot of stuff that might happen once you come up. But I don't know. That's a complex question. We'd be here for a while if we went any deeper into it.
I just welcome, come in. Hope you have a good time.
There's free beer, maybe. Hopefully there's...
Probably not.
Tampa, Band Kids, Alaskan Armor, thank you very much for coming. I greatly appreciate it. This has been another great episode of Alliance After Dark. Peace.